The US federal government, a behemoth of bureaucracy, has long been criticized for its inefficiency and red tape, found itself at the heart of a whirlwind of change in February 2025. This was a month that would be remembered for years to come. At the center of this storm was none other than Elon Musk, the enigmatic entrepreneur known for his ventures in electric cars, space exploration, and social media. Musk, with his larger-than-life persona and relentless drive, was about to embark on one of his most ambitious projects yet. Tasked by the White House with streamlining the federal workforce and slashing costs, Musk dove headfirst into the belly of the beast. His approach was unorthodox, to say the least, and many wondered if his Silicon Valley tactics would translate to the public sector. His mission to inject a dose of Silicon Valley efficiency into the often criticized world of government bureaucracy. Musk envisioned a leaner, more agile federal workforce, one that could adapt quickly to the needs of the nation. Musk's arrival on the federal scene was met with a mixture of anticipation and apprehension. Employees were unsure of what to expect, and the atmosphere was thick with tension. Supporters lauded his track record of innovation and disruption, hoping he could bring much-needed change to a system often seen as bloated and inefficient. They believed that Musk's bold vision could cut through the red tape and bring about real progress. Critics, however, raised concerns about his aggressive management style and questioned his understanding of the complexities of government. They feared that his approach might lead to unintended consequences and disrupt the delicate balance of the federal system. Little did they know, Musk was about to unleash a chain of events that would send shockwaves through the corridors of power. His plans were ambitious and the stakes were incredibly high. The stage was set for a clash of titans, the maverick entrepreneur versus the entrenched bureaucracy. It was a battle that would test the limits of both sides and challenge the status quo. At stake was not only the future of the federal workforce, but also the delicate balance between efficiency and the rule of law. The outcome of this experiment would have far-reaching implications for the entire nation. As the calendar flipped to February 2025, the nation held its breath, bracing for the impact of Musk's bold gamble. The coming months would reveal whether his vision could transform the federal government, or if it would be another ambitious idea that fell short of its goals. On February 22, 2025, a seemingly innocuous email landed in the inboxes of millions of federal employees across the country. What seemed like just another routine message quickly turned into a catalyst for chaos and uncertainty. Sent by the Office of Personnel Management, an agency now under the influence of Musk's team, the message carried a simple yet chilling demand list: 5 accomplishments achieved each week or face termination. The directive was clear, but its implications were anything but. The email, devoid of any pleasantries or explanations, landed like a bombshell, instantly transforming a regular Friday into a day of panic and confusion. Employees who had been planning their weekends were now gripped by a sense of dread. For many federal workers, accustomed to the slow, deliberate pace of government work, the email came as a rude awakening. The sudden shift in expectations was jarring, to say the least. The demand for weekly accomplishments, particularly in roles where tangible outcomes were not always immediate, felt arbitrary and unfair. Many employees struggled to understand how their daily tasks could be quantified into weekly achievements. Rumors spread like wildfire through government offices, with whispers of mass layoffs and a complete overhaul of the federal workforce. The uncertainty bred fear, and fear bred speculation. The email's blunt tone and lack of clarity only amplified the sense of unease. Employees were left to interpret the message on their own, leading to a myriad of different reactions. Employees were left scrambling, unsure of what constituted an accomplishment in the eyes of their new overlord, Elon Musk. Was it the completion of routine tasks, or something more innovative and groundbreaking? Was it completing a stack of paperwork, attending a meeting, or perhaps something more abstract, like contributing to a long-term project, or something more quantifiable, more aligned with the metrics-driven world of Silicon Valley? The lack of clear guidelines left everyone guessing. The ambiguity fueled anxiety, leaving federal workers feeling like pawns in a high-stakes game, orchestrated by a tech mogul with little understanding of their day-to-day realities. The email was more than just a message. It was a harbinger of a new era, one where the old rules no longer applied. Elon Musk, never one to shy away from confrontation, approached his government role with characteristic zeal. Armed with a mandate to streamline the federal workforce, he wasted no time in asserting his authority. The weekly accomplishment report was just the tip of the iceberg. Musk, through his surrogates within the Office of Personnel Management, demanded access to agency databases, seeking to identify redundancies and inefficiencies. He dispatched teams of young engineers, their fingers itching to code their way to a more efficient government, to embed themselves within various agencies. These tech-savvy emissaries, armed with spreadsheets and algorithms, questioned long-held practices, challenged job justifications, and generally ruffled feathers within the established order. Musk, a prolific user of social media, took to his digital pulpit to both promote his reforms and lambast any resistance he encountered. When some agencies pushed back against his demands, citing concerns about privacy, legality, or simply the impracticality of it all, Musk responded with public condemnations, accusing them of being dinosaurs clinging to outdated ways. His online pronouncements, often delivered in his trademark mix of bravado and snark, only added fuel to the fire, further polarizing an already tense situation. The email blast demanding weekly accomplishment reports triggered a wave of reactions across the vast federal bureaucracy, ranging from strict compliance to outright defiance. The directive, issued with little warning, left many scrambling to understand its implications and how best to respond. Some agencies, perhaps sensing the changing winds of power, fell in line quickly, instructing their employees to diligently document their every move. These agencies saw the directive as an opportunity to showcase their efficiency and dedication to transparency. The Social Security Administration, for example, implemented a new online system for tracking employee output, aiming to streamline the process and ensure compliance with the new requirements. Meanwhile, the Department of Transportation, under the leadership of a Musk-appointed secretary, embraced the directive with gusto. They saw it as a chance to modernize their operations and improve accountability. Other agencies, however, pushed back, questioning the legality and practicality of Musk's demands. They argued that the directive was an overreach and could potentially disrupt their operations. The Pentagon, wary of compromising national security with excessive bureaucratic burdens, initially resisted implementing the new reporting requirements. They feared that the added paperwork could detract from their primary mission of defense. The FBI, citing concerns about jeopardizing ongoing investigations, also expressed reservations. They worried that the weekly reports could inadvertently reveal sensitive information, as did the State Department, where diplomats argued that their work, often conducted behind closed doors and across continents, could not be easily quantified on a weekly basis. They stressed that diplomacy required flexibility and discretion. The confusion extended to smaller agencies as well. These agencies, with limited resources and staff, found the new requirements particularly challenging to implement. The Department of Education, grappling with budget cuts and an already demoralized workforce, seemed unsure of how to proceed. They were concerned that the new reporting requirements would add to their already heavy workload. Meanwhile, the Forest Service, tasked with managing millions of acres of public lands, found itself ill-equipped to measure the accomplishments of its park rangers and firefighters in a way that satisfied Musk's metrics. They argued that their work, often unpredictable and dependent on natural events, could not be easily quantified. As the chaos unfolded within the federal government, the political arena erupted in a predictable firestorm. Former President Donald Trump, enjoying his post-presidency from the sidelines, wasted no time in weighing in, praising Musk's initiative as a stroke of genius and a long-overdue reckoning for the deep state. Trump, who had campaigned on a platform of draining the swamp, saw Musk's efforts as a vindication of his own attempts to reform the federal government. However, not all Republicans were on board with Musk's methods. Senator Lisa Murkowski, known for her independent streak, called the email demand absurd and counterproductive, arguing that it would only serve to demoralize and paralyze the federal workforce. Senator John Curtis urged a more compassionate approach, expressing concerns about the impact of such drastic measures on the livelihoods of millions of Americans. Democrats, for their part, largely condemned Musk's actions, accusing him of waging a war on government workers and undermining public services. Senator Elizabeth Warren, A vocal critic of corporate overreach labeled Musk a bully who was using his wealth and influence to impose his will on a democratically elected government. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez echoed these sentiments, calling for congressional hearings to investigate Musk's role in the unfolding crisis.